കൽ തോன்றി മൺ തോன்ற കാലത്തെ വാളോട് മുൻ തോன்றി മൂത്ത കൊടി. An excerpt from the Purappurul Venbamalai, a treatise from the 6th century, describes me as the one that existed before agriculture. I have seen kingdoms come and go. I have seen battles of wit and more. Amidst each of you, I'm here to tell a story, the greatest of them all, the Tamil soil's story. My Tamil man. Welcome. I am everywhere. I was there when the first block of wood was carved, the first king was crowned, the first ship set to sea. And I'm there when all the glory now lies beneath the sand. The value of what we unearth, a broken pot, a dirtied coin, a wooden toy, or a rusted iron tool from 4,000 years ago, is as priceless and timeless as the history it comes from, the Tamil land that it comes from. And this history begins at the beginning of time itself. Our culture took its first steps along with the early man. The village of Adirambakam holds stone tools as old as 1.5 million to 385,000 years of age. Mailadumparai unearthed tools and rock art from 4,200 years ago. We were witnesses to the age of iron, smelting and wielding its power at a time as old as 2000 BC. Able to generate our own heat of more than 1,500 degrees Celsius. This was just the beginning. Then came the time of the leaping tiger, the Chola Empire. The twin fish, the Pandya Empire. And the glorious bow and arrow, the emblem of the Cheras. Trinity of Tamil royalty, under whom flags soared high and the land flourished, and Tamil rejoiced. The Cheras, the Cholas, and the Pandyas. It was a time of true innovation. It was a time of the people. We were industrious, even before it was a word in the West. Dating back to the 6th century BC, we used terracotta pipes for irrigation, establishing our core livelihood, agriculture and farming. Society began to thrive. Life was rich and livelihood grew under the able administration of the kings. In the 1st century, the great Karigala Choran built the oldest of dams, Kallani, or the stone dam, over the river Kaveri, operational even after 2,000 years of its existence. The 10th century Chola creation, the Veeranarayanapuram Reservoir, built by man, nourishes us with water till date. And as agriculture prospered, trade made its way. We traveled and traded with lands near and far, all the way up to Philippines. Owing to the vision of a great Chola king, Rajendra Cholan, we crossed the unforgiving Indian Ocean in the 10th century. He was the first to introduce the concept of an admiral. The INS Rajendra of the Indian Navy is a salute to that man and his marvels. When the sea was still a stranger and the shores became our friends. We were a civilized society, educated in the ways of life and the needs of those around us. In Kuradi, pots and earthen vessels bore names of their owners. A democratic election for the village head held in the 10th century under the rule of Parandagat Choran shows our people as able thinkers that they are. This thought, this community, this Tamil built the culture and society of yesterday and today. And our culture is as vast as the minds that created them, with a contribution to every form of art. Our martial art, Silambam, the dance of the wooden staff, showcases utmost discipline, showmanship, and grit. bringing with it the surge of energy since the time of Kalitugai. An ancient text comes a sport like none other. Yeru Tazhuvudal, or embracing of the bull, famously known as Jallikattu, a sport of the masses. This sport is not man versus animal, but man and animal in harmony. Our dance forms are as diverse as us in the classical elegance of Bharatanatyam. Dance forms of our people that we know as Nattupurakkalaigal, or folk art. This robust energy of movement is met with the tranquility of the still. Our artisans and architects were ahead of their times, and who better to speak for that than I? Monuments from a single stone, studied as monolithic structures in the modern day. The flawless, smooth pillars of Susindram temple carved from a single stone. Mamallapuram, home of the Show Temple and the Five Rathas, the Museum of Indian Architecture. Over 2,000 years ago, the Pandyan king began 3 scholarly institutions called Sangams. Tolkappiyam is one of the oldest books of grammar for a language of today. Aindinai spoke of the vast terrain and their stories. Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal, and Palai. And the Silapadigaram brings to light of progressive practices such as Sakyar Kuttu, a dance form where all are seen as equal. And on that note of equality comes the hero of her times, a feminist icon blazing through a courtroom of injustice, fighting to prove her husband's innocence, bearing the anklet of truth, a truth that the king refuses to see. So let's break the anklet, she says, and spill the queen's pearls. Bang goes the second anklet. The king is shocked to see the scattered rubies. The third and final anklet breaks. The truth engulfs not only the court of the king, but the entire city of Madurai. Tamil literature covered the ways of life and has nurtured many voices over the years. Tirukkural, the treatise for the whole world, holding in it 1,330 verses and 133 chapters about the ways and doings of man, is an ode to poetry itself. The poet's statue, the Thiruvalluvar statue in Kanyakumari, is testament to that. Our national bard, Bharatiyar, sang songs of liberation, and his disciple, Bharatidasan, carried the legacy, bringing reform to society. And the Tamil people of today put us on the map with our soaring GDP, pioneering at every touch in healthcare, automobile, and technology. The tradition of art has now evoked our love for cinema, boasting of one of the most inspiring creative industries. Tamil cinema is a benchmark of excellence in entertainment. And our Tamil has grown far beyond this land, this man. We are part of the world, residing in 180 countries around us. No story comes without its hardships. Shaken by tsunamis, the floods, the earthquakes, and the droughts, our people face the hardest and the most trying of times. But we rose stronger, our legacy ever growing. And as we witness the magic together, it is no more just my story, but ours. யாதும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளிர். This is our world and these are our people.
எப்படி நாள் முழுக்க நியூஸ் தமிழ் தொலைக்காட்சியோட சோஷியல் மீடியா பேஜஸ்ல கம்ப்ளீட்டா கனெக்டடா இருக்கீங்களோ அது போலவே நியூஸ் தமிழ் தொலைக்காட்சியையும் பாருங்க. உங்கள் அபிமான நியூஸ் தமிழ் தொலைக்காட்சியை தமிழ்நாடு முழுக்க இருக்க கேபிள் நெட்வொர்க்ஸ்ல பார்க்க ஸ்கிரீன்ல டிஸ்பிளே ஆகுற இந்த சேனல் நம்பர்ஸை நோட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. உங்களின் குரலாக, உங்கள் சார்பாக உலகின் அனைத்து திசைகளிலிருந்தும் நடுநிலையான செய்திகளை அறிந்து கொள்ள ஸ்டே டியூன் அண்ட் கீப் வாட்சிங் நியூஸ் தமிழ்.